Um, that's supposed to stay non-detergent. This is no good for us. This is gonna mess up my rubber clutch. My rubber clutch with rats. The rats made it not work and slip, probably. The rats are probably why it fucking tried to suicide itself while I was spinning it over. Alright guys, I don't even remember when you guys last saw the bike. It's been some time. As you can tell, the front turn signals are off. I think it actually really improves the silhouette of the bike being like that. But having the turn signals would be good. So, yeah, as you can see on the ass here, I have not only a shit ton of hardware sitting out, but also some SAE30 non-detergent oil. You have to use the non-detergent stuff with these Garrellis because the rubber clutch on the inside gets tore up by the detergent. So, if you got one, use that. I had to bring this into work and swap out the cap with one from an actual bottle of gear lube, a quart of gear lube, so that I could fill it up properly. Alright, some nice fresh stuff in there. I'll give that a minute. Let that drain. Make sure it's nice and level. Come back to it in a few minutes. Wipe it down. And get our plug back in. Clean it up. Then we can get spinning this thing over again. See what she does. I'm not sure if I'm gonna record. I kind of got it in my head that I don't want to because I don't want to just take up the storage and have a ton of video, but well, last time it was a pretty good call to just keep recording because the whole fucking bike jumped about an inch. Well, that's not true. Most of the bike stayed solid, but this chain got a lot of movement. I'm just kind of praying that I hopped a tooth. Is that supposed to be like that? I don't think so. Alright guys, we got all the exhaust parts and the cat eye turn signal kit here where I work. I got a co-worker who's gonna help me braze this hole up because I haven't brazed in about 6 years, and I've almost died a few times since then. It's distracting me. Now I ain't quite done cleaning up this part. You can still see the back end of this flange. There's a good bit. I didn't get really any good before shots of this thing. She cleaned up alright, but you can see the excessive pitting all over this thing, and especially up in the sealing surface. So I'm just gonna have to do something about that because I don't think that's gonna seal real proper. It just don't look like it would. So yeah, even though I ain't got a great before shot, this pipe, especially this section, was a lot rustier than our muffler here, an expansion chamber, and you can see she's cleaned up pretty alright. We got some more work to do with the Scotch brake pad. Updates from here will probably be sparse since, you know, I'm working and not working on my own stuff most of the time, but I did get a chance to clean this up. So yeah, since you've seen it, she's gotten another round of aggressive wire wheeling and some sanding and such. And you can see she's still pretty horribly pitted throughout with some new scarring from a vice. Those ones there because we were trying to kneel and bend this piece of copper to our whim, and you can see a bit of a weird divot in it. That's because the rest of the rusted internal area of this pipe fucking collapsed while I was hammering on it. So, our new plan, as opposed to just brazing a plate over it, is to bend a copper pipe to these specifications. This copper pipe, matter of fact. Then we will cut out a section here, cut out a section of the copper pipe, put it in here, and braze it in to repair our exhaust pipe. This pipe pieces cleaned up pretty well, honestly. I haven't gotten stuck. Alright, so some time ago, I attempted to get the carburetor off of the bike, and I just decided, oh well, it's not supposed to happen, so it's not gonna happen. It happened. Finally figured out how to take it apart and actually get it off of the bike. So I'm going into work tomorrow. Not actually to work though. I just got some things that I need to take care of in terms of my own projects. I'm gonna go in and work on tomorrow. So figured I'd take you guys here and check out the car real quick. Nice, just chuck that. I'm sure you can easily come across these. I'm sure it's just a breeze. Really fucking looks pretty damn good down in there though, to be honest with you. Doesn't really look like this mesh comes off. It doesn't have like a separation. It's solid in with this carb. Okay. Half full, half full, half 3, half 4, half 5, and 3/8. More like a quarter. 5 1/4. Okay. 5 1/4 turns out for assumingly our idle mixture here. It's probably just general fuel mix, but I'm guessing it'd also dictate our idle, would be my guess. Bring this over to the wire wheel, clean it up, make it look nice and pretty. Not quite ready to come off yet. Huh? Okay. There we go. And some debris on the threads. So I'm kind of putting it so that I can see it. See if I can get this to focus in. Probably not, to be honest. Well, maybe. Kind of see some of the debris on the threads. Anyway, we'll get it on the wire wheel. See what we can't get. And everything in here looks really clean. Some of the hardware, seemingly pretty sporadically, has surface rust on it. But that's pretty much all over the bike. A lot of the chrome parts on the bike have some surface rust on them. Some of the bare metal parts. Scotch-Brite, clean it right up. Polish it up good enough. Really, the whole bike needs a pressure wash. Needs a solid pressure wash. It needs a Scotch-Brite going over a lot of places, and needs to run. Other than that, I mean, it really doesn't need anything. It's not missing parts. Even this gasket, I mean, I don't know if this is 50 years old or if this might have gotten replaced at some point in 1,000 miles, but it's still a good fucking gasket for us. This plastic is suspect. But with a stroke of luck, as long as I take care of it, I shouldn't have to get back into this carb for a long, long time. Which would really be ideal with something like this, where it's going to just get harder and harder and harder to find parts for it. This float we're going to have to test. Make sure it still works. Seems like this pin might be a little seized where it is. No, it's not seized, it's just very small. Don't see any holes. Needle looks good, doesn't look beat up, looks sharp. Looks almost new. If it wasn't for the massive amount of dust in places that dust could only get by having settled there by it sitting there for a long time, this thing is so fucking great. I mean, you could have convinced me this thing was out there a few years ago. This thing, I mean, when they put it up, they knew what they were doing. They knew they weren't going to take it back out for a long time. And they really put in the effort to put it away nicely. And it shows. Yeah. The outside of the carb is a little tiny bit grimy. But the inside of the carb is pretty goddamn beautiful. So, we're gonna throw it in the ultrasonic. Not entirely sure if it is necessary. Alrighty folks, right up here is our nipple for where the oil would be injected into the tank. So we're just gonna weld off this hole here to block it. I got ground, there it is on the forks right over there. I'm hoping that makes an alright ground for us. So I'm gonna go grab my gloves and get the water live. And then we'll see what we can do about patching that hole up. Bugger. Means I have to find somewhere else to grind this. Handlebars. Let's try handlebars. This. Set that to a reasonable length. Go back. This helmet is ass for the way. Forming ass. this here isn't a hole through the tank. I don't think it is. It's not very pretty, but I think it might be solid. We're just gonna do a little bit. Got an exhaust fan running. It's not doing much good from pulling the fumes out of that little valley up there. Pop that piece of wire off. Alright. You guys are gonna help me find out if that's a good weld or not. You guys just stay right there. Keep pumping out that light that you're using to see, will ya? That if we see any light through this bottom, might be it. When I tell you to move too, do that. This is probably full of fumes. No? It's present. Alright, here. Get on the move. Yeah, come up. Come right onto it. Come right under it. Oh, man, that looks good. That looks good. I'm not seeing any light. I think we're good, guys. Not sure what kind of look you can get at it. Let me normal or zoom out. Dang, she's looking good. Now, of course, you know, like I cleaned her tires and stuff. We ain't ever gonna run those under power. Every piece of tread has got cracks and such on it. But I mean, they ain't pissing out air, which is nice for now. Makes it easy to move. I'm perfect. You ignore that up there now. I see you looking at that. You ignore that. That ain't for you to know about yet. That's why it's covered in plastic. It's actually because we've been getting a lot of rain, but don't worry, you'll see it eventually now. You just keep watching. Not in this video. No, you're getting all excited. No, you see, that's your fault. You're getting all excited thinking you'll see it later. It's not in this video, damn it. It's gonna be it's gonna be its own video, goddamn it. Jesus, you guys are ridiculous. So I got myself a minute here. Now I'm just kind of kicking through this, and I'm taking a closer look. And I mean, at least to this point, there is a pretty serious consideration that this thing won't retain its lights, and I'll try to get it back to a state of there's a solid chance that this thing doesn't get to keep these signals. It's pretty rough in here. Yeah, I'm gonna ask some of the other guys, you know, like some of the other guys who got employed here are electricians and stuff. I'm gonna ask them what they make of it. But we might have to abandon them or find an alternative solution, even though I really didn't want to. I'm not entirely against it because I do think they ruin the silhouette of the bike a little bit. But I think that's a fine trade-off for the extra visibility. So, might be the way it goes, might not be. We'll have to see.